Okay, we're gonna do a magic trick to Mr. Kessel. So, what you need to do this magic trick is a deck of cards. I'm going to do the magic trick first, and then I'm going to teach you how to do the magic trick the second time around. So, you only need 16 cards. I'm going to shuffle my cards here, and I'm going to lay 16 cards down, and you're going to want to put them so you can read the cards. Oh, wow. Look at all these. Must not have shuffled very well. So you're going to want to lay your 16 cards so you have 4 rows of 4. What you're going to do is you're going to ask your person to pick a card. They're not going to take it off of the ground. They're not going to tell you what it is. So I'm going to turn around so I can't see it, and Mr. Kessel is going to point to it. So go ahead, Mr. Kessel. Point to the one. Are you done?
Yep.
Okay. All right, Mr. Kessel, which row is the card in?
First row.
This row right here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in this row. Okay, so you can kind of see all the cards on the screen there. I'm going to ask again, Mr. Kessel, which row is your card in?
4.
So it's in this row. Okay. Point to 2 flowers. Point to 1 flower. Point to 2 petals. Okay, is this your card?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to do this trick. It has math involved, and that's why we're doing it. You're learning it on a video here. So I'm going to shuffle one more time. Hopefully I can shuffle a little better. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your cards and you're going to make 4 rows of 4. Or columns, I guess. Just need 16 cards. It does not matter which 16. And you're going to ask the person to pick a card, and you don't want to know what it is. That's the point of the game. You're guessing their card. So Mr. Kessel, point to a card. Show the crowd. So he's picking this card. I'm trying to guess this card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask him what row it is in. So row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. This is row 1. When I'm picking up these cards, I know that the card that he picks is one of these 4. If he points to this row, I know that the cards are one of these 4. So I kind of keep it in my back of my head. One of the first 4 cards are going to be the card that he picks. Or if he picks this row, it's those 4. I don't know, does that make sense? Notice when I'm picking them up, the new card goes on the bottom. So I know that the first 4 cards in this situation are going to be one of his cards. When I'm laying them so the rows are the opposite way. So this was that first row that he had to choose from the first time. So I'm going to narrow it down. I know that his card is one of these 4. So I ask Mr. Kessel, what row is your card in now?
2.
So he's pointing to this one. So he's thinking that I'm just looking at all these 4 cards. I really narrowed it down. This was the first row from the first time. And then this card is the card he has in his head because he picked row 2. So this card, I'm going to remember this number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I already know that the 5th card right here is the card that he chose, 5. I'm keeping that in the back of my head. 5, the 5th card. Okay, now I'm going to make flowers, I call them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is his card. I'm keeping that in the back of my head. I know that his card is right there. Not very centered well. Sorry about that. Okay, so the next part is just for show. It's just fluff. So you're going to ask the person, point to 2 flowers. If they point to the one that has the card, take the other 2 flowers away. If they point to these 2 flowers, take them away. No matter where they point, you're always taking away cards that don't involve the magic card. So he pointed to those 2, so I'm taking these 2 flowers away. Okay, so again, I know the card's there, so I'm taking this away. It doesn't matter where they point, really. They're not going to really catch on. Okay? these two cards go away, and then you say, "Is that your magic card?" And they'll say, "Yes." Let's do it one more time. I don't know if I explained that well. One more time. See if I'm centered. I'm not centered very well. You only need 16 cards, 4 rows of 4. Okay, so then you ask the person to pick a card. So normally I wouldn't watch for this part, but go ahead and pick a card, Mr. Kessel. Okay, so they would say,
Row 3.
you say, what row is it in? And they're going to say, this row. Okay, so I'm going to remember that these 4 cards are my possibilities. The King of Spades to the Jack of Diamonds. So when I put them down, the rows are going a different way. His card could be this one, this one, this one, or this one. I'm going to keep that in the back of my head. Okay. Now I'm going to...
Two.
It's one of these. So now I'm going to ask him, what row is it in now? And he said row 2. So I know already in this point in the magic trick that this is his card. I'm not going to tell him that, but I'm going to keep it in the back of my head. So I'm going to pick up the cards and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th card is his card. Okay, so I'm going to make my flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is his card. Again, I'm not going to tell him that. This is just for show. Okay, ooh, I am so off center in this video. So sorry about that. Okay, so again, in the back of my head, I know that this is his card. You ask the person to point to 2 flowers. No matter what 2 they point to, you're always taking away the opposite one, or not the opposite, the ones that are not involve your card. So he pointed to these 2, it doesn't involve my card, so I take these away. If he would have pointed to these 2, I still would have taken these away. Okay, point to 1 flower. Okay, I know my card's in here, so I'm going to take this away. Point to 2 petals. Point to 1 card. Is that your card? All right. I hope you enjoy.